Cheers, guys. Epix 911, welcome to the Monday, June 19th, 2017 edition of VR News. I'm going to say it up front, guys. I am really freaking ticked off right now. And we're going to get into why right now. And it has to do with the game I talked about yesterday called Heroes Never Die. And I'm going to say up front, what I'm about to talk about is based on speculation and allegations levied against the developer that at the time of me recording this have yet to either be refuted or substantiated. But there's enough, in my opinion, to warrant people holding off on purchases of this game until we know. And it's that part that ticks me off, because some people will listen to me talk about a game and make some decisions based on that. Hopefully they wait until a quick look, but sometimes, they're going to share the enthusiasm, the potential enthusiasm that I have, right? Everybody does impulse buys from time to time. And that could have been the case here. And if it does turn out to be a less than reputable company, that would just get me really freaking angry. So let's break it down. I got a text from Nady, who runs, I believe, the largest VR gaming channel on YouTube, early this morning via Twitter, urging me to check out the discussions happening in the game's forums on Steam. So I took a look, and there were a bunch of allegations made against the developer Frostbite. But let's talk about those allegations first, and then kind of my thoughts on that. So the allegations as follows. One person saying the caged orc was wearing armor very similar to the studded armor in Skyrim. That in itself, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. You can be inspired by something, and it's a harmless tribute, or you can be inspired by something, and it's freaking plagiarizing, and you are ripping another company off, right? There's a lot of flex on that statement. But right now, no one who's made any of these allegations have been able to show in screenshots what they're saying, right? The next one, the orc with 2 axes was literally ripped from Shadow of Mordor. Haven't been able to find that yet. Next one, and the people look like they were from Thief, the 2014 edition, and Dishonored. The next one looks like Silas from Call of Juarez. And then the biggest one that would potentially be the evidence, he or she hasn't been back to back it up either, when they say screenshots 1, 10, 11, and 12 are 200% from Thief 2014. I tried looking, couldn't find them. Brought my daughter in, who's an artist, and pointed out things that I should have seen last night. For whatever reason, I didn't. Now they're glaringly obvious. That the art style between the outdoor environment and the indoor looks totally disjointed, right? Someone mentioned in the discussion about the name being from Overwatch, and I assumed they meant art style. I looked at the font. I couldn't see a similarity. My daughter said, no, she's a huge Overwatch player. It's an expression that one of the characters in the game makes when she heals somebody, character named Mercy, apparently. So, all of that, coupled with the fact the developer's been silent since then, have no real history online that I could find. We know they're from China. We know that the translations were poor. They acknowledge that. But that, in and of itself, again, that's not evidence of anything, right? But there's enough worry here that, again, I would urge you not to purchase this game until we know more. And believe me, guys, I'm going to be following up on this. So that game, Heroes Never Die. All right. On a slightly happier note, well, happier if you like manga and anime, a company called Shueisha creates what are called Mooks. And those are magazine-style books Within your HMD, you can read manga. There's anime to watch. I believe anime to watch for sure. You can do the reading. And they've even thrown in little virtual reality treats. For example, in one of them, there's an actual little mini game where you play out Death Note via an escape room puzzle. Now, for me, even though I'd watched anime when I was a kid, Robotech, Star Blazers, right? I wouldn't consider myself into anime until Exidy introduced me to Death Note. And yeah, obviously I've seen tons of stuff better, but it was a really good gateway anime for me to get me into it, to show me that anime could be very adult themed and dark. And that's what really got me into it. So yeah, this completely passed me by. Found it on Anime News Network and comicbook.com. Going to be looking into that for sure. Unfortunately, it's another one of these examples where the company is Japanese and not doing business really outside of Japan. And we're only hearing about it through anime conventions. So definitely one I'm going to dig into more. And then next up, a movie, a virtual reality movie. Completely past my radar. It's called OtherLife. And it's made, it was filmed in Australia, western city of Perth, based on a book by Kelly Eskridge, which itself is science fiction, or you could call it speculative fiction, about a drug that people take that transports you into VR. It basically hooks into your mind. And we've talked about this here on the channel, right? Getting VR to the point where literally we could tap into our brains. Well, they've done that here with this movie, but via drug. So trying to find, and I believe I'm going to get lucky so I can watch that movie later tonight. I'll let you guys know how it is. If I recommend it, I'll let you know. And you can check it out. It could be completely lame. And, like Exidy Me, for example, we love Japanese splatter gore films, right? Not going to win any Oscars. Definitely no awards. The acting is usually terrible. The special effects laughable. But it's so over the top, they're just fun to watch. Tokyo Gore Police, Machine Girl, etc. So yeah, this movie called OtherLife. And then next up, we've got Finnish company called Varjo, and they've got a headset that they promise is going to rival the human eye. And they're using a technology not unheard of in VR gaming, foveated rendering. The whole idea there that humans really only have an area of high fidelity that measures about 5 degrees across, and that's the FOV, thus foveated rendering, etc. How they're doing it, they're working with Rift HMDs right now, but they're modifying them with their technology. So they're using a low-res and a high-res screen to kind of do their version of foveated rendering. But a hardware approach and more based on our actual vision than the foveated rendering algorithms we're seeing for VR gaming. And therein lies the reason for this company, Varjo, creating this headset they're calling the 2020. This isn't going to be for home use. They want to gear this towards businesses because, according to them, they feel with the potential that VR is offering industries outside of gaming, and I've said that before, it's those industries that are going to ensure the clock is never going to get reset on VR. It just can't. The genie's out of the bottle for surgeons, for education, for so many different areas. The problem, as Varjo points out, is the HMDs those industries are using were ones developed for gaming. Still saddled by 1080p, etc., all the limitations technology-wise. They want to leap in and make the high fidelity unit that's truly going to benefit those industries. And I love that. So they're going to branch off, but hopefully at some future point, there's convergence again. And gaming now able to borrow from these guys and the technology they've come up with. Yeah, so check it out. I've got about 3 links. VentureBeat.com is where I found the article, and Technology Review has a good article on these guys. Again, Finnish company, calling it the 2020, of course. And the last story, and it's about time, HTC and Rift, you guys need to be doing that too. And of course, Sony. And it's getting the supply chains in order. You're still only able to buy Rifts and Vives in specific places, right? Sure, Walmart and Best Buy, and of the three, Sony's probably done the best job supply chain wise. You can purchase them in multiple places, EB, Walmart, I've just kind of gone through the whole list. Not so with the Rift and Vive. So HTC announcing today, they are going to be entering into partnership with Best Buy, Walmart, and a bunch of other online retailers to sell their Vive headsets. So just that little change, and you wonder why this wasn't done in 2016, should really give a boost to, I'm not going to say stagnating sales, but sales that due to really poor marketing, let's be real here, are a lot lower than they need to be and should be because of that. All right, guys, hope to have some updates on Heroes Never Die as I dig into that deeper. Again, just my urging, hold off on that game for now. Guys, as always, cheers.